Some see rings like this as mere adornment, decoration for one's finger. Yet this ring marks its wearer as a Lord of Gondor, the line of Hammerseer. Its filigrees form a seal that marks correspondence as surely as a signature. This ring may be all that's left of Hammerseer's line. I know they perished when Minisethil fell. When a ring has symbolic significance, it is far more powerful than ordinary jewelry.
The Hammerseer family. I knew them. A long time ago.
I doubt they have any further use for it.
Hello and welcome back to Shadow of War. I've got my boys ready to go, so let's do this thing.
My black speech is a little rusty. Actually, I don't know a single word. Language is a pain in the ass, but to hazard a guess, he said you're all gonna die horribly. Yeah, my kind of bloke.
I will handle the Overlord. You focus on the Defenders.
Define focus.
Alright, let's do this thing. Howdy, boys. Thank you. Oh, hello.
Ripper gear this lot has. Maybe I'll pick up a sword for myself. I could use a new toothpick.
Pick your teeth later. Right now, we need to take the fort.
Righto, boss. I'll chew my way right through it. Keep him off balance! For the war team! Forward!
Let me pick this up real fast. Oh, never mind, I'm full on ammo.
Steady, lads!
Let's catch up a little bit. Where's my other guy at?
Keep pushing forward!
Gentlemen.
fancy this fort capturing business? And once this one's yours, you'll need a new overlord. I'd like to throw my hat in that ring.
What have I unleashed?
Potential is nearly unlimited.
Yeah, it is. I love him.
Now I'll snuff the overlord.
Killing the Overlord will send a message throughout this region. That message comes from me.
Righto.
Go kill some other people.
This fort belongs to the Bright Lord now!
Can't hear anything in this.
I thought I recognized that voice.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
So much to catch up on. Where do I start?
How about your death?
What? You mean getting hit by the hammer? It's a headache at most. I mean, you want to kill an Uruk, you gotta take the head clean off. Does the job every time. Well, most of the time, I think. I don't know. Never really been sure about that.
Oh, I'm quite sure it's all the time. Allow me to demonstrate.
Ruse. Welcome. The man is a friend. The Ulog, watch him. Make sure he don't do anything suspicious, like, you know, kill me.
How did you end up here?
Well, I was captured by some slavers, actually. They weren't all slavers. Two were cannibals, one was a necromancer. Fun bunch. They captured this Olog. Oh, he was in rough shape. We were cage mates until I sprung us out of there. Olog jumps out, arms go a-flying, and then here we are, the best of friends.
Murandam Kirindu Rachanuk.
Oh, right. I should tell him about the fort thing. Thank you for that. It's kind of a long story. Ranger killed the old overlord, now it's ours.
Ranger?
Oh, yeah, I named him after you.
I'm honored.
Well, it's been nice catching up and all. Bright Lord and me just came by to tell you that the fort's ours now.
Right, Lord. Well, you are welcome to it, Right, Lord. Me and Ranger are done with the Overlord game. It's a right pain. You gotta feed your followers, train your followers, make sure you don't get killed by your followers. Yeah, it's a right bother.
Oh, well, your worries are over, because now I'm overlord.
No. No, not you. Anybody but you. Whatever you need, Ranger. Me and Ranger have got you covered. Wait, Ranger. It's a little confusing, isn't it? But the point is, Bruise cannot be Overlord.
Zupakin. I'm not working for these two, I'll tell you that right now.
That works out perfectly. Because we got no character openings for half-wits.
These squabbling fools. They have their uses. You must choose our overlord with care.
Maybe
You read my mind.
I am almighty, vicious. What? Olog's friend.
There is a new power in Mordor! You! In the days ahead, we will fight other battles and claim other fortresses! But starting today, Mordor belongs to you! Mordor belongs to the Bright Lord!
Oh, okay, so now I have to promote to overlord. Why can't I actually promote him? What is that bullshit? Do I even get rat bag as an option? No. I'll put him up there then. He's done pretty well for me in some of my other stuff.
Now we have a foothold in Mordor.
We should upgrade our defenses before Sauron attempts to reclaim what he's lost.
And there are more fortresses to conquer. And the Palantir is back in Minas Morgul. We must choose our next move carefully.
Oh, am I not destroying this? I for some reason thought I was. I need to get a new bodyguard, because that guy was my bodyguard. Wait a minute. Asgang has kind of gotten just fucking crazy, so I probably shouldn't put him in yet. Put in there Arhisu. I just got him, so we'll see how he does. I marked him as a target. Wait a minute. There we go. He seemed pretty legit when I beat him earlier. Damn, just a whole fortress full of my own orcs. That's awesome.
Almost forgot to tell you one last thing. Now that you have my fort, it will eventually come under attack, which you already know since you attacked it once yourself. Nicely done, by the way. The thing is, you don't always need to be on the defense. You have scouts who can sniff out enemy forts, so you can go on the attack yourself. You know what they say, the best offense is a good offense. And don't worry about running low on orcs. If you ever need new recruits, you go talk to a glob they call the Headhunter. He'll sort you out. Oh, Shrock! I forgot to fill Ranger's feeding bowl before I left. He's gonna be cranky if I don't get back. I'm coming, Ranger!
Ranger's a feeding bowl? Interesting. Oh, other players' fortresses? Jesus. No, I shan't be attacking anybody else's fortress at the moment. How far away is this mission? They're both side by side. Go talk to Bruise at the pits. I'll pick up this Gondorian artifact while we're here.
Not every author seeks to inspire. Some seek to instruct. So it is with Contrivances of Carpentry by Pelwyn of Lossarnoch. I spent many an hour tracing the wondrous diagrams within this tome. Instructions for building everything from hobby horses to windmills to catapults. I wonder sometimes who taught more apprentice carpenters, Pelwyn or his book.
As a lad, I was always fascinated by woodwork. Turning boards into furniture, a home.
Talion the craftsman. That I'd have liked to see.
and they never unsheathed their weapons. This looks like Eltariel's work.
Well, she is indiscriminate. By the look of it, some of these would have made good followers.
We must find her before she eliminates all our potential recruits. Though if she did, we'd have little need of an army.
If you were looking for ring wraiths, you're too late. But before I engaged him, he was speaking to an orc who was different than the others.
There are worms nearby. Perhaps they can tell us what is going on.
If we take them alive.
You don't decide whom I let live, Ringmaker. You'd both do well to remember that.
Me too.
The Nazgul have dealings with special orcs. What are they?
They're called the Chosen! I don't know what they're chosen for!
What is the purpose of the Chosen?
Secure the hide here! It's something to do with the Seeing Stone! That's all I know! I don't care. Whatever it was can sort off.
What have the Hydeia revealed?
Only the Shriekers know that the Chosen kill anyone else who gets close. And that sword!
The Chosen. Where do they come from?
The Shriekers make them in some kind of ritual. All very secret. I don't know where.
You can't! I'll rip your head off!
So long as the Witch King has the Palantir, any towers the Chosen hold will be his eyes.
Then we must blind them.
The ritual to create the Chosen. Where is it performed?
No one knows. When a captain's selected, the Shriekers send a worm to tell him where to go.
We must tell Eltariel what we know.
This need not concern her. We have our mission and she has hers.
Her mission is the destruction of the enemy that tracks us. The more information we share, the better.
He's returned! What was that noise?
Were your messengers forthcoming?
The Witch King is using the Hydeia to track the ring.
They extend the Palantir's reach. Orcs called the Chosen guard them.
And the enemy may hold the Palantir, but the Hydeia themselves are vulnerable.
So, we know their design.
And now we dismantle it.
The fight pits. You know, this is more than just a place to pop some orcs' heads off, although that is something I cannot recommend enough. But the fight pits are where you can test your followers, see what happens when they have a go at some other geezer. They're always bringing in tough orcs to fight, and if your fella survives, he'll be stronger for the experience. If he snuffs it, well, the one who done him in has what it takes, so there's a potential new recruit. And however it shakes out, your boys will love watching the show. Nothing boosts morale up like bodies going down.
You're a disgrace,
See? Wasn't that a good time? Grog was drunk, laughs were had, blood was shed, and Grog was drunk. Ah, there's no fight like a pit fight.
I loved coming over here to hear about that, and that was it for the mission. That's interesting. Quests are available in other regions. Well, that's fantastic, but I'm not done here yet. I've still got that mission over there, plus some collectibles still to get.
Your fight is folly, Ranger. You accomplished nothing. The idea belonged to the Witch King. He tracks you, and soon he will dominate you.
Hurry! They must not reclaim the Hydia.
They will not. A Caragor would help us cover ground more quickly. Once we have retaken these towers, we should find her daughter. She must know what is happening.
She could be watching us right now.
for you brave crawler! Oh, you lose! Yeah, that's how it's... You! The Witch King orders that this idea be retaken. You are a hollow traitor, but I am chosen. Now! Serve the Bright Lord! We are chosen! We resist!
Why Eltariel was selected to be Galadriel's blade.
I can't presume to know what is in an elf's mind. Surely this Galadriel would seem the best.
I don't question whether she is the best, only whether she is the first.
You will die in its shadow. Watch your step.
Chosen are tenacious indeed. The Nazgul are wise to create such powerful servants.
However powerful the Chosen may be, the ritual to create them is where they will be weakest.
Indeed. When the final tower is ours, we should turn our attention to finding the ritual's location.
Get through me so easily. This idea belongs to the Witch King!
And so do you, Ranger.
Oh no, that's not fair.
I got ya!
Together, we will serve the Witch King.
Yeah, I have no intention of that.
With each tower we reclaim, the Witch King's vision diminishes.
We will rob the Witch King of more than his vision.
The old gods abandoned us and the music of the world was thrown into disarray. He saw it as his mission to set it right. One dark lord correcting the mistakes of another. The future is filled with them. Each one determined to save the world from itself. To purge the chaos. To rule all.
After Morgoth came Sauron, and after Sauron...
After Sauron will come peace.
The splendor of its hills, its forests. He seemed to shudder. Sauron looked upon the world as chaos, an imperfection that he...
The only imperfection in Nirn is its orcs.
Sauron's notion of perfection is a low, mean thing.
This ore comes from a longboat that washed ashore in the Bay of Belfalis, and it surely passed through many a corsair's hands before finding its way inland, where I espied it atop a merchant's cart years ago. I've often wondered about the hands that rode it to sea. Were they the calloused hands of a slave, or those of a dashing corsair of Umbar? I suppose I'll never know.
What use has an oar away from its boat, and so far from the sea?
To remind people that Middle-earth exists beyond the bounds of Mordor.
We Gondorians are a seafaring people. Though our ships ply the coastlines and rivers, rarely venturing into the open sea. Yet it was not always so. Our ancestors, the Númenóreans, and their elven allies sailed to other lands in ships like this model. Sailors even claim it's possible to sail so far into the ocean that land is too distant to see in any direction. Hard to imagine. So I suppose I'll have to see it for myself someday.
Did the elves truly sail in vessels such as these?
In the First Age, this would count among the most ordinary ships in our fleet. Let our foes fortify with iron and stone. Let them summon scabrous serpents, feral beasts. It will avail them naught. Across the ages, none have an army that wields such weapons. Such woe, such doom against the dark benighted hordes who dare claim dominion over a Mordor soon bright.
Some orcs are self-styled marauders who crave riches more than other orcs. Greed, not bloodlust, motivates them, and unlike most other orcs, they wear jewelry such as this ring to mark their status. We obtained this ring from a dead marauder, so we've no idea of its history, though it seems Númenórean. If only we knew where the marauders find treasures like this ring. There's so much we could learn.
A ring of Númenor.
And a well-crafted one, by the standards of men.
Gondor's artisans rival the elves in their dedication, if not their skill. None more so than our weavers. Paint on a wall or canvas will fade in time, but thread retains its vibrant color for centuries. The Númenóreans taught our people the art of the loom generations ago, and it is a talent we've nurtured ever since. Our tapestries immortalize our greatest triumphs. But it seems there's always another enemy to darken the horizon.
I wonder where this was intended to hang.
Wherever it was, I doubt it still stands. Only the strongest fortresses last long here.
Earliest memories are of being nestled under blankets as my mother showed me the illustrations in a storybook about Loki the Larrikin, whose mischief always ended in disaster, though she was always one step ahead of her stern governess. I found the book tucked away years later after I learned to read, and I was surprised to learn that the storybook was full of little morality plays, not the comic tales my mother told. I wonder why she did that.
Doggerel to amuse children, I see.
No, something more. I read this storybook to my son long ago.
To most Gondorians, this midnight urn is a simple pot of clay, but to the denizens of Minas Ithil, it represented shared sacrifice that only those who live on the frontier understand. For centuries, the name of every able-bodied resident of Minas Ithil was placed in the midnight urn, and at sunset a name was drawn. That person would have to patrol the city's walls until sunrise. The task was ceremonial once we had a professional army, but that made it no less important. From our earliest days, it was always a neighbor watching from the walls. I was 10 the first time they drew my name, and I've never been prouder, though I could barely see over the parapet.
Why leave the defense of your walls to chance?
It isn't about chance. It's about unity. Everyone's names are mixed together, and everyone takes a turn on the wall.
The orcs are neither the only denizens of Mordor, nor the first. Easterlings and Haradrim have settled here from time to time, often at the Dark Lord's invitation. They are scarce today, but one can still find their strange artistic carvings scattered in places from Nirn to the city of the Corsairs.
An artifact of the Haradrim. Interesting.
Few find their way this far north, and for that your nation should be grateful.
Minas Ithil is on Gondor's frontier, so we have few occasions for the grand balls and masquerades that are surely common events in the capital city. Fine dresses like this one are worn for ceremony, funerals and weddings mostly, not for lordly entertainment. I wonder if the noble families of Minas Tirith spared a thought for us, holding all of Mordor at bay while they danced.
Another fine garment thoughtlessly cast away.
Who in Mordor would wear such a thing in days like these?
The future is written or unwritten. My mind could travel up and down these paths, and they were like memories. But like memory, the mind would shape them to suit itself. Were these my fears, or my hopes?
Are these not the same dangers as the Palantir, the Hydir?
There is a risk in all these things, but wars are not won by the cautious.
Seen a spider's web, strung with dew. That is the web of fate. All possibilities hang in the balance, but as the sun rises and the wind blows, the dewdrops fall.
Her visions revealed the truth. All of them. What say you?
Truth? I used to believe in truth. But it is a corrupted virtue in the hands of those like Shelob and Sauron.
The elves of the distant north have long been named among Gondor's allies, though I've never seen one in person. This cloak is as light as the morning fog on the shoulders. I tried it on once, and its colors seem to shift and blend as the light changes. How meager the product of our looms is when compared to elven handiwork.
I recognize this cloak. It is of my people.
A people we see precious few signs of in this land.
Men and orcs have clashed for centuries. In living memory, the greatest battle between them took place near Long Lake, where men, aided by elves and dwarves, battled the orcs and goblins of Moria. The free folk won the day, and some accounts claim that eagles of the Misty Mountains swooped down onto the battlefield, casting the orcs down from the cliffs and mountains where they stood. Seems a fanciful tale. I saw no eagles overhead when Minas Ithil fell, though we did have Talion and his strange powers. We would have welcomed aid from anywhere, even the skies.
The eagles of the Misty Mountains are more than a myth.
Perhaps. But I doubt they'd fare well against the drakes I've seen.
I never dared to break the seal on this scroll, though I often wanted to. I found it in a dust-covered box with a label marked Maps of Southron Trade Routes. Baranor is a Haradrim, so perhaps this scroll has a map of his homeland. Breaking the seal is strictly forbidden for those who aren't Lords of Gondor, and as much as I'm curious, I know my father would not approve.
Did you ever travel to the Southern Lands?
There is little there that interests me, and few who go there return.
But some things were lost forever. But some things were lost forever.
What did this device do?
Probably nothing. The Numenorians experimented too much and perfected too little.
Mostly folk tales told around the campfire. The stories say they are fierce, pitiless warriors, as cruel as the orcs and as stern as the southern mountains beyond which they hail. Those folk tales convince many a Gondorian child to behave, but I cannot reconcile them with what I see in the only Haradrim I know, Baranor. He is fierce in battle and stern when needs must, but cruel? Never.
Such strange clothing.
And yet to the men of the South, it is as ordinary as your tunic. Only distance makes this precious.
It is a fundamental truth of Mordor. The orcs have been here far longer than men. Far longer than the Dark Lord himself, even. This place belongs to them, and in their own way, the orcs revere their heritage. We found this sword in a crude shrine, after all. Yet imagine what the orcs and Mordor could become if freed of the Dark Lord's corruption.
The orcs can temper a blade, I'll give them that.
They produce weapons in mass, but they give little care to each one.
Minas Ithil held many treasures far grander than this necklace, though none more precious to me. When I was a little girl, I would sneak into the Great Hall and take this necklace from its locked cabinet, thanks to a loose latch that only a child's hand could reach. For hours, I would admire myself in the mirror, imagining myself an elegant lady of Gondor, much like my mother must have been. My father caught me eventually, but as punishment, I received only a lecture. Perhaps he didn't mind seeing his daughter in such finery.
I'm surprised this necklace isn't hanging from some orc's neck.
Perhaps their stubby fingers cannot work such a delicate clasp.
It has long been customary for the people of Minas Ithil to offer an amphora of water or wine to any visitor from beyond our walls. Such travelers were rare, especially recently, and making the trek to the frontier almost guaranteed a thirsty guest. But when our need was greatest, no one from Gondor came to our gates, thirsty or otherwise.
This amphora, it is older than it appears.
Just as well we reclaimed it then. The orcs would sully it with their grog.